We do think, based on the results from some of the other tests and research that has been done in some of these programs, that we can generate the scores necessary to show success. So that's basically what we're up to. So any other questions at this point in regard to what Dr. McCumber has presented, or anything else for that matter? Yes?
I have just a lot of kind of interesting topics, and especially like science and history. Will there be any backup, like say a third grader or fourth grader is done with their other work, and will there be a deliberate attempt to say, well, you know, maybe you don't know anything about the Incas or whatever, here's some extra material that maybe you can, is there going to be any attempt to catch up some of those, or if the child is particularly interested in learning more about a certain area?
I would leave that up to the classroom teacher, but certainly because the Faulkner Academy has a part of their philosophy is active parental involvement. That could also be a piece that you could, work with your child's classroom teacher and suggest or, request that, you are the expert on your own child, in my opinion, and, could make those recommendations to the teachers. And the Faulkner Academy is very much wanting, all but insisting on that active parent involvement. And so I can't speak on behalf of our teachers who have yet to be hired, but I would certainly say that as a former teacher myself would very much welcome that kind of parental input and involvement and collaboration to tailor the instruction to your child's individual needs.
Mrs. Gillette, I would think that if a child is advanced and they've already studied this and they're on this quest for more, then I would think that our teachers would recognize that and address the needs of those that we might call a little bit more gifted. On the other end of that spectrum, what we might also acknowledge is a child who is struggling and needs a special assistance. And that is the expectation of the academy to put on the shoulders of those teachers who will be specifically trained to watch for those, for lack of a better word, I would say, possible deficits, possible concerns, or possible advancements. I've had some parents ask the question, if I have a child who is gifted in the school system now, is the academy going to be able to challenge my child? And I'm thinking that when we put the componentry together, as you see it in the scheme of things this evening with core knowledge, coupled with the other two portions, then I think that we're going to be able to branch out and address the whole segment of children that are out there. And in so doing, pull some of those who are possibly a little bit on the end where, the gaps are occurring, pulling them forward while at the same time pushing forward those who are desiring to go farther. So I would respond in that manner, that would be the expectation of the teacher from me and the board, that the teacher recognize early on wherein lie those problems and those concerns, because there's certainly concerns of parents. Can you challenge my student enough, and will my student be ready to advance on to the next arena, whether it be the rest of the public education sector here in town or elsewhere? And I think that's a very valid question. And as we move forward, I'm going to, somebody back there generally gives me a signal here. That's okay. I haven't started. No. I ignore them. No, I don't. Let me just say this much. The lottery that we had last Thursday evening went very well, and we were able to address the needs, I think, of all that had, almost all that had sought interest in the academy. And we now have, with the interest which has been, in our regard, very overwhelming and very pleasing, we added a couple, with the blessing of Ball State University, we added 2 more teachers to the staff because of the responses that we had received. So as we speak this evening, I want to update you on the status as to where we are. I'm trusting that most of you, if not all of you, I think all of you that had children who had signed the intent to enroll form did receive in the mail a letter that said, yes, indeed, your child's name was drawn in the lottery process. Then that means that as we speak currently, we have 2 classrooms in the following grades. 2 for grade K, 2 classrooms for grade 1, and 2 for grade 2. The single classrooms would be grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. That is the configuration of the design, and we'll probably pretty much hold to that at least for the first year or probably more because we're looking at numbers very closely. Your classrooms, your children will not be in classrooms that have more than 22 children per teacher. That is the maximum, okay? And I would also add that at this moment, we have a limited number of spots still available now with the creation of the extra 3 classrooms per se in the areas of kindergarten, in first grade, and second grade. Unfortunately, we do have a waiting list at this point for grade 3. That will be handled in the following way. Unless we find extreme numbers coming in, we likely will not go with another lottery system at this point. What we will likely do is when we receive that intent, we will date it and time it so that as per receipt time, that child will then be next in line. And now Yvette stood up, so I'm thinking she's going to cue me.
I just want to clarify that
Sure.
all of those who actually got your intent to enroll in by the 25th, which we actually lotteried, your children, if you were in the 3rd grade, your child received a number. If you didn't get the letter today, you'll get it tomorrow. And so we only had 2 spaces at that time for the 1st grade, for the 3rd grade. We are waiting and giving those parents for that 3rd grade class until the 12th, as we have done that for the same of you, to respond and determine whether or not they intend to enroll that child. If that child is not enrolled or they do not confirm with us in the 3rd grade, then we will go to the 1st person on the waiting list and the 2nd on the waiting list. All other intent to enroll after the 25th will be assigned from the date that they were actually enrolled or actually received that registration form for the 3rd grade. That would be true for the 4th grade because the 4th grade is full. That would be true for the 5th grade because the 5th grade also is full. We still have room in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd.
Thank you very much. Good point. So the people eligible for the lottery, which was taken care of Thursday evening, were those individuals who fulfilled the intent to enroll form prior to, by the deadline of April 25. And therefore that drove the lottery process, which was conducted here publicly. And now we're ready for that driving force, which will take us into the hiring mode. And we have been working diligently on that. And we're pleased to say that we have a number of applicants that have made their interest known to join forces here at the Academy, and the deadline, the time frame that we're actually trying to deliver on will be everyone on board, hopefully by the 1st week in June. We're pushing things right now, so for prospective teachers sitting among us this evening who have expressed an interest, please trust that we have all the applications, that we have them cataloged. The committee has been reviewing those applications, and we are very much in the process of hand selecting those individuals based on credentials. Plus, we will also be using a very detailed rubric so that you will understand as we interview you. You will be asked the very same questions in regard to education, curriculum, how you teach children, different kinds of scenarios. It will be the very same thing. Another thing that I will be doing is very shortly mailing out, and I was in touch with Dr. Levert today. We're going to give all prospective teachers who have generated an application or a resume to us, we're going to give everyone some articles about best practice, which we feel that you need to take a look at prior to you receiving an interview or talking in an interview with us, so that everyone absolutely is on the same page. Now, I will say this very honestly. We will not be interviewing all of the applicants for the teaching capacities.